Here we're going to be going over a couple more helpful HTML tags to know. So the first one we're going to go over is a Q tag here, which just stands for a quote. It basically, whatever is inside of here will be wrapped with kind of the quotation marks. So I can say this is a minor quote from someone. And what we can do is we can go back here and we can actually refresh this page to see what the result would look like. And as you guys can see, we now have something that says this is a minor quote in quotation marks from someone. So just update that to make it look a little nicer as far as things go. There we go. So the next one we're going to talk about here is this code tag. This code tag just basically represents a small segment of computer code, and let's actually take a look at the effect here. So we can say there is a bit of code inside of the code tag, and we can say, for example, and then we could put something like for represents a for loop. And let's actually take a look at what shows up. So as you guys can see, it kind of takes the text here, makes it a little bit smaller, and changes the font family here a bit. We could actually change this up a little bit, and we can actually put an HR tag, which represents a line break. And let's actually take a look at the effect. I'm not sure what will actually happen, to be honest. So it looks like we just kind of put the HR there. So we can just say, there we go. For example, HR represents a line break. Yeah, that makes sense because what ended up happening is our HTML code just kind of read it all in as just another tag. It didn't read it as in like just an example of an HR. We could probably put something like this here, and we could take a look at the result. There we go. So it'll accept that, but it won't accept the other way, because it'll just read it in as another tag. So the next tag we're going to talk about here is a pre-tag. Pre-tag just stands for formatted text. So we can say this is a simple line. We can take this and copy it a couple of times. So typically what we've seen in the past is that all of this would actually be on the same line, but with a pre-formatted text, what it's going to do is it's going to take into consideration the tab spaces here and the current line that the bit of text is on. So if we take a look here, we can kind of tell that that pre-formatted text is tabbed over a bit, and each little sentence here is on its own different line. So we can actually modify this a little bit to give it kind of a cascading sort of appearance. And as you guys can see, the output looks exactly like the input here. So let's talk about this delete tag. The delete tag does nothing more than what you guys might think it would do. We have a line through this bit of text. So we can say there is a line through, or we can say there is a line through some part of this statement. And as you guys can see, when we refresh our page, whichever content is in between the del tag has a dash through it. So what do you guys think the insert tag might do? Well, the insert tag it just inserts a bit of text, and it should underline the bit of text. So we can say there is an underlined bit of text that represents inserted text. And let's actually refresh this. So as you guys can see, the insert tag here underlines this bit of text on the Firefox browser. Other browsers might actually have a different appearance here, and we could test that out later. But for the purposes of this video, we're just going to do everything in Firefox. So the ABBR tag stands for an abbreviation. So I can say something like HTML here, and Now, as you guys can see, as I refresh the page, there is now a little bit of text that says HTML, and it has little dots under it. The dots represent that this is an abbreviated, or this is an abbreviation for something. So in this case, in the title attribute, I can actually say hypertext markup language. And now when I refresh the page and I highlight over the HTML, I should get a little pop-up that kind of has a little description of what the acronym stands for. So here we go, a hypertext markup language. So anyways, I hope you guys found these tags to be useful. Feel free to tinker around with them. There's plenty of more tags out there. If you go to w3schools.com, you'll see a plethora of them. And I just advise, just feel free to tinker around with some more of the tags. See some cool things. Do a lot more cool things. Have fun.